Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today I'm doing another driving video. We're going to do a point of view in my new car, which is this Jaguar XJ8 3.2 litre V8. This thing's an absolute beast, and we're basically just going to be showing you how this thing drives, seeing how smooth it is, seeing how much of an insane machine this thing is, and you'll also get to hear the exhaust system that I've got put on it, which is probably a bit ridiculous. I am going to actually get that changed, but without further ado, let's get into it. We got to start this up first. There we go, nice little V8 grumble, quite loud. So anyway, in we get. So we've got this insane clean cockpit area in here. The guy bought it off. This car actually had barely been driven. It's only done 70,000 miles and it's what, 23 years old now I think. So real low mileage, especially for a V8. Let's actually get going whilst we go. So what we're going to be doing today is just driving around. Just little drive, real nice cruisy one. I did take into account what some people said on the last point of view drive video I did. It was stupid, so we're going to be doing much more sensible one here. So what I want to do right now is we're on this nice long straight road. When we've got a clear thing in front of us and behind, what I just want to do is pull away so you guys can hear it, see how much performance it sort of has. And obviously we're only going to go to 60, so this is a 60 road, so we're going to stop here, give it a little bit of brake boost, and then that's about 60 there, yeah, just before. So it does pull away quite quickly. It is a 3.2 litre V8. It's not the quickest one that they made. Obviously this is actually the slowest model. They do a 3.6 litre, 4 litre, 4.2 litre, and then they also do supercharged versions of the 4 and 4.2 litre, which them ones are pretty insane. This one has, I believe it's 250 brake and some similar sort of number in terms of foot-pounds of torque, and you can definitely feel it in this car. I think it's about as torquey, if not more, as my tuned Kia Ceed GT, which is pretty sick. When you pull away, you can definitely feel that torque shoving you back, because it's obviously naturally aspirated, so the power's just there instantly. You don't have to wait for a turbo or anything. So when you pull away, you do get a nice sense that you've got quite a lot of power, even though you don't. And then obviously as you get going, it sort of dies off a bit. But anyway, so I bought this car. I got rid of the BMW that I had. I didn't really like it that much and it had some issues anyway. And then I was looking at cars I could buy. I really wanted a V8. I've always wanted a V8 for one, and I've always wanted a Jaguar for two. And it just so happened that upon looking on Auto Trader, I managed to find a Jaguar and a V8 that was really cheap. So I actually managed to get this one for £2 grand. So yeah, pretty beast car. It's obviously an auto, 5-speed I believe, although it sometimes makes me feel like it's 6 because it weirdly can like drop into gears without me like realizing, and it's sort of strange, but I think it's 5-speed. We've got sport mode and normal mode on this. Basically what that does is the sport mode will just keep it in gear for a bit longer. It will take the revs all the way as far as it can go rather than shifting a little bit earlier. So we're going into a little 60 up here. Still not going to bomb it. But another thing about the Jaguar, you don't really want to bomb in this thing. It's just so smooth. The suspension on it's ridiculous. It's like driving a boat. The steering's pretty like, you have to do a lot for not much, if that makes sense, compared to obviously the Ceed GT, which has a bit more of a sporty steering setup. You know, it's more direct, it's stiffer, it's like harder to turn. So obviously this is completely different. The interior of this car is so insane. It's like probably one of the coolest interiors I've seen. You got this actual wood accents all along it, at the door cards and right on this dash as well. And it's just incredible, like, just look at it, it's so insane. There's so many buttons on here as well that just blows my mind that it's even in a car that's this old. Like, all this aircon stuff and heating that actually works still 23 years later. Got quite a friendly and nice button here, which is the ASC off. That can cause a bit of rowdy fun. Well, it could, obviously I've never tried it. Yeah, that turns it fully off. Is an open diff though, so if you were trying to drift in one of these things, you probably want to do it somewhere wet, snowy, or just dirt car park. Other than that, you'd probably crash. Just driving this thing is so nice, it's so smooth. Like, the gear changes are incredible for a car this old. Like, there's no faults with the gearbox whatsoever. And especially now I've got this exhaust on, though it is a bit loud, I am going to get it quiet, and like, just unleashing that V8 a little bit, because this was completely silent when I bought it. It was actually ridiculous. Just makes the car, it's so good. You get such good downshift sounds. It's just all round an incredible car. You're quite in the middle of the road, aren't you? Let's just do a quick downshift here. See, really, really pleasant. We're gonna go this way actually. Actually no, we'll carry on this way today. So yeah, I've had this car for 2 or 3 months now, I think. The only things I've done to it are the exhaust. I got the rear windows tinted, and I put a huge induction kit on it, which makes this fat, massive, ridiculous sized cone intake air filter thing, and it just looks incredible in there. Just such a lovely sound and feeling just driving this car. Like, it's just incredible. Like, everyone should get one of these, and I've literally had no issues with it so far. The only issue I have with it is that one day, on a Monday, I put 100 quid in the tank, and then on Wednesday I put 100 quid in again because I used that much fuel. So if you're looking for a car with efficiency, this probably isn't the car for you. Now I've got to try and pull out of here, which is probably one of the worst ways I've chose to come. Okay, right, I think we're clear to go now. Right, let's go and hope. Just incredible noises and driving experience. It's literally the best thing ever. Anyway, what I sort of, when I bought this, I did sort of intend for it to turn into a bit more of a show car sort of thing. So obviously it's an old car, it's got that old, like, classic-y look to it. It comes with 16-inch wheels, I believe, and the tyres are so fat and massive, it's ridiculous. It does look pretty cool, to be fair, in my opinion, but what I think I want to do is get some 19-inch rims and slap some low-profile tyres on it. I think that would look incredible. I did actually see one, literally the only time I've ever seen one of these cars after I'd bought it, with bigger wheels on with low profiles, and it looked incredible. So that's on the cards to do, and I'm also thinking of lowering it a little bit, but I'm not too sure if I want to do that because I just love the way the suspension works and how nice the ride is. You do get quite a lot of body roll going around corners though, that's the only thing, so could be nice a bit lower to the ground, but other than that there's definitely like no complaints to it whatsoever. So once I've done that, That's pretty much what I wanted to do to it fully. I mean, I've done the other 3 things. I've made the engine bay look a lot cooler with the big intake. I've made it sound nicer with this exhaust, and it needs some work obviously. We've got the rear window tints that I wanted. I was actually going to black them out completely, but when I got there, the guy sort of convinced me to go one level lighter than fully blacked out, just so it lets a little bit more light through, and so you can still sort of see in just a bit. And I do actually agree, in the end it did make it a lot nicer to look at than just having it blacked out. 'Cause blacked out looks a bit scallyish, especially if you're putting it on like an old car like this. You want it to sort of look good still. But yeah, so wheels and lowered, that's about all I can think of. There's some other like little finishing touch sort of things that I want to do, like maybe put the mesh grille on that comes off the supercharged version of this car, and some little other accenty things. Brush up a little bit of the paint work potentially, because some of it's a little bit scratched. Like, what can you expect for a car this old? But generally it's pretty perfect. But yeah, it's just literally the best car I've ever been in. Just love it so much. Shuts down car meets, which is the best thing ever. Isn't slow, which is pretty fun if you need it to be a little bit nippy. And it's just the best. It's old, it's gangster, it's so sick, just the dream. The only thing that I don't know whether I want to do or not is get rid of this specific one and get a higher literage one with a supercharger on it, because I just love the supercharger whine, especially mixed with a V8. It just sounds incredible. Obviously the supercharged ones are a little bit more. You can find them starting around 4 or 5 grand, but they're for quite used examples. So if I was to look for one that's still in really good condition, then it'd be quite expensive. So we'll see, maybe in the future. But a question I did actually want to ask you guys, because I don't really know anything about superchargers or supercharging cars, but could you put a supercharger on this engine, or can you not just do that to anything? Like, could you take the supercharger off one of the 4 litre ones and just put it on this, even though it's a tiny litre? Because I'm sure the actual engine size is enough to be able to take a bit more power, but I just don't know if it's possible to do that. But it would be sick. If I could just supercharge this, then I'd do that and not bother buying another one, because it'd just be ridiculous. But it would be sick to do like a bit of an engine build on this thing as well. So yeah, if anyone knows anything about that, then definitely let me know. I'm trying to go down there, but I don't actually know how you do that. There's quite a lot of cars here. Friendly chap let me go there. Give it a little open up again once we're past this car and I can see that there's nothing up ahead, which there isn't. Incredible noises. Anyway, we're nearing on the end of the video and what I can actually think of to tell you about this car. So we're going to park up soon, just let you have one final look at it. Oh, there's a horse there. I should probably go really slow past that. So then, here we go. We'll just pull up here for the end of the video. And there we go, drive complete. It was pretty fun to just drive around and get it on record. So please let me know if you want to see more videos like this. I can think of something else to do. Obviously I actually do have to take you in the seed at some point, because that thing is a beast. And yeah, I can't think of anything else to say really. It's just, this car is literally the best thing ever. Little clock in here as well, like so dreams. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Definitely leave me some comments below about the supercharger and other vids involving this car. Maybe if you want to see it drifting, we can go somewhere to try and do that. But yeah, have a good one and see you in the next one.